Hi guys, this video is all about tent peg loading and about helping you to make a decision about which tent peg to use in which ground conditions. I've done an enormous amount of testing in different conditions and it's a bit of a biggie, but don't worry, right at the start I do a summary of all the different conditions, which tent peg wins in the different conditions, and then I've got timestamps below to all the different sets of ground conditions and the full tests, so you can just skip to each section or just watch the intro or watch the whole thing. Cheers! So why have I made this video? So a camping system is only as strong as its weakest link, and in my experience the thing to go first is the tent peg or tent stake pulling out of the ground, and then it's followed by the pole structure, and then lastly the fabric. And if you have a morbid fascination for such things, have a look at Outdoor Magazin. There's a link below. It's a German magazine where they get a massive fan and flatten tents in extremely powerful winds, up to 180 kilometers an hour, and it's painful but fascinating watching. So I've tried to make this as standardised as I can. I've been using for the load a commercial grade force tester. I can connect it to this via this hook to Dyneema line, which has a 120 kilogram braking strain, and every single time I've pulled from a 30-degree angle from the horizontal, and I've inserted the tent peg at a 30-degree angle from the vertical. So I've gone for a standard pull, a standard angle each time, and I know in real life conditions vary all the time. I've just tried to make it standardised, and I agree this is an emotive subject. People will have all sorts of strong opinions about their favourite tent peg and the conditions they camp in, but bear with me, I think it's a good guide that I've put together. So what are the pegs I've used? I've used the Elkit long aluminium nail. This weighs 32 grams and its length is 23 centimeters. I've used a DAC V peg, and you can see the little notch cut in it there. That's meaningful, and that weighs 12 grams and is 16 centimeters long. I've got a Hilleberg that I found, a tent peg that is 10 grams and 16 centimeters long. I've got a Y peg that's a cheapy Amazon thing, a little bit like a groundhog copy. This weighs 11 grams and is 18 centimeters long. I have a titanium nail that's 17 grams and 20 centimeters long. Titanium crook that's 8 grams, 17 centimeters long. We've got the Mini X peg. These are the ones that come with Lanshan tents, and that is 10 grams and 15.5 centimeters long. We've got the Delta angle that's 42 grams and 16 by 16. You get two measurements for that one. And then we've got a snow stake that's 32 centimeters and 22.5 centimeters long. So the conditions I tested in were, and the order they appear, was stony grassy moorland that was actually in an ancient hill fort that was in Northumberland, but very similar ground to you get in the Lake District. We've got an ancient forest which was close to where I am here today, and it was very soft, wet, so similar to peat moorland with fine mixed vegetation on ground level. we've got stony grassy pasture, we've got frozen turf. I didn't do them all on that because they were just bending, but I used some of the heavier ones. We've got sand, and I did a separate section with them buried in sand crossways, and then we've got snow, and I did those also a second set of measurements, including snow buried. We're getting there. It's got to be time for a brew. Yeah, is that lit? Oh my! Oh no! I've got my Hilleberg peg in there. Hang on. What's that? The heat in the meth stove has revealed writing. Oh no! I knew there was something weird about this peg. There's a story about when I found it. We found it, I think, probably on one of these hills over there when we were on it. Okay, we'll take it down and show you the pack space. The tent weighs 3.4 kilos, and now it's 3.412 kilos because Sasha found a left behind tent peg last night by treading on it, and I was just like, oh great, you found a tent peg. She was like, ow, ow. Yeah, but it's a really good tent peg.
I've done it without the shoes. Okay, it hurt.
I believe this peg, it's trying to get back to its owner, the dark blonde Petra, and I wondered if it was the one peg, and there's writing appeared on it that wasn't there before. I don't want to utter it here in the woodland, but it's in the language of wives. Roughly translated, it means, not another tent, you've got 6. Actually, it's probably more than 6. So yeah, I keep losing this peg. I think it's trying to get back to the dark blonde. So what should I do? Should I return it to Hilleberg for recycling or destruction? But it could come into possession. What to do? I think I'll just keep it precious close to me for now. I think it's just reminded me that I haven't got a Hilleberg. Its power is telling me to get a Hilleberg. So guys, I'm going to put all this on the screen now, and we'll go to the separate sections. So thanks for watching. If you're leaving us now, it's been a big project, so please subscribe. Well, the ultimate aim with this is to link it into actual tent loads. It's a bit of a big project, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry smaller digital scales with me, and every time I pitch the tent in its windy conditions, I'm going to attach the digital scales to the guy line and see what the actual load is. Different tents, different conditions, different loads. So it's all very well measuring tent pegs load, but it's irrelevant if it doesn't actually match the real world conditions. And the relevance of this is the actual amounts that you'll see on the results. So I did a testing up to 10 kilograms and then up to 20 kilograms, and then a pulsed representing blustery conditions to get to max. It's all on the charts that are coming up, and I chose 10 kilograms as a level because that roughly corresponds to the tear strength of 20D triple siliconized nylon and Hilleberg kerlon 1200, and then 20 kilograms is around what 40D triple siliconized nylon is, and kerlon 1800. give or take 200 grams each way. So if you've got that amount of load and you've got a small tear in your tent and the conditions are right, you could be in trouble. So we definitely want the peg to be holding up to that point, and after that the weak part, if you had a tear, is going to be the tent. So that's why I chose those levels. Thanks. This is the moorland grass category, but this is one with a difference. We're in the middle of the ruins of an Iron Age hill fort in deepest Northumberland. Just show you the view up here. Last of the snows are going. So 2,000-year-old hill fort site. Usual suspects: help kit, DAC V, Hilleberg V, titanium nail, titanium crook, Lanshan X peg, delta peg, snow anchor, and an aluminium Y anchor. Ground's pretty gritty underneath. Help kit.
We are God's snowbird.
10 kilos. 20 kilos. That was over 30 kilos, that's not coming out. DACY peg. Kilos, 20 kilos. Wow, super solid this ground. That was 26 kilos. I can feel it probably starting to bend. Hilleberg. $10 kilos. 20 kilos. Yeah, to 30 kilos again. It's dragging a little bit. Titanium nail, it's hit a rock there, but being a titanium nail, we can give it some. $10 kilos. 20 kilos. Oh. 31 kilos, starting to drag. Titanium crook. $10 kilos. 20 kilos. And that's out. That's been our first failure at 24 kilos. Y peg. This is going to be good. $10 kilos. 20 kilos. 31 kilos, dragging a little tiny bit. Okay, here's the Lanshan Mini. I'm supposed to go that way. Hit a rock. kilos,
Is the boy looking for a minute?
20 kilos, and that's out at 26 kilos. Right, so I take it with this delta, it should take a lorry. Right, let's give this some Yahoo. Went in alright.
That doesn't actually. It means I've got to stop doing what I'm doing and I'm sending.
10 kilos, 20 kilos. I'm not moving that, 35 kilos. Hi. Last one, snow stake. 10 kilos, 20 kilos. That was 35 kilos and hurt my back. So we can safely say Iron Age hill fort, nothing's coming out. It's gritty, hard ground, even though it's been wet for weeks. Hello everybody.
Hello. Say hi, honey. Woof woof. Bob.
Fantastic Iron Age hill fort here, and you can see the terraces where they used to farm and cultivate all around there. So this is the forest floor section. It's ancient woodland, a compacted muddy ground with scrub and trees nearby. So the order that we've got is the mini peg that comes with the Lanshan 2. We've got a DAC V peg, very similar to the Hilleberg pegs, an Alp-kit nail, a Amazon aluminium Y peg, a titanium crook, a titanium nail, and a snow stake. So I'll get these knocked into the ground and we'll test the load under the usual factors of 10 kilos movement, 20 kilos any movement, and then pulsing force to get them out. Oh, I missed the mini from Lanshan. Push that in a bit further. My godfather. Ouch. So Lanshan Mini. Seven kilos out. Alp-kit. There's 10 kilos. There's 20 kilos. So that's gone now. That's at 25 kilos. It was on the way out. So next the Y peg. This one's kind of my default peg really. So there's 10 kilos holding steady. And 13 kilos, that was on the way out. So next it's the mini titanium crook. That was 9 kilos, that was out. think it just spun really more than anything. Next it's the titanium nail. Okay, I'm resetting this in between each one. Can you see that okay, mate? Whoa. There you go. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Tuck that well down. That's 10 kilos. Whoa, flicked off. So that's obviously a problem with that in itself. It wasn't on that well anyway, but there's not much of a catch bit there to hold it on, is there? And then lastly, reset that again. The snow stake, the super snow stake. Obviously this is going to be pretty good. It's not in even all the way there. So there's 10 kilos. Yeah. It's 20 kilos and that's kind of pulling out there. Very loose. So this compacted muddy ground in the forest, I was amazed how little holding power there was on all the pegs. Very little really. I think in future when I'm on a forest floor I'm going to back them up a little bit more if it's windy. I suppose it's all this old mulch making it all loose. Okay, fantastic. See ya. Okay, I'm retrying the Delta ground anchor on a slightly deeper, different placement. God, I can't get the guy line round now. So, going straight down with that sitting flat. That's really flush now. Reset. Slightly shallower angle. It's 15 kilos. 20 kilos. Okay, 23 kilos. The Delta. So this is the DAC with Y, the scoop towards me. Reset. 10 kilos. So that's 12 kilos and it's out. This is the Hilleberg with scoop towards me. Reset. $10 13 kilos, that's out. So I'm going to re-sight these now with the Y away from me, or the scoop away from me, I beg your pardon. Let's clear those out a bit. Bit of fresh ground. So we'll go DAC first. You see that okay, dudes? All the way in. So reset. This was 12 kilos before. So there's 10 and that's loose. 12 kilos pulling out, but I think that started to go at around 9. So the Hilleberg, right buried down, no cheating. Reset. It's It's 9 kilos loose. That's just pulling out now. It's so I'm happy with that in that soft ground test. So the V pegs had, with the scoop towards me, around a 10% better holding power in this soft ground. But very similar really. But they're both made by DAC, so they should be. Great, so the next conditions that we're on we call open pasture. This hasn't been grazed. I know it gets replanted for hay. It's stony rough ground with a 2-year-old grass crop now, and it's pretty firm ground. So same order again, DAC V-peg, mini Lanshan X-peg, titanium elk kit aluminium nail, aluminium Y-peg, titanium crook, titanium nail and snow stake. I'll get these in nice and firm and we'll get on with testing. Okay, first up, the DAC Y-peg. There's 10 kilos. And that's on the way out at 14 kilos. So next it's the mini. Got a bit of trouble getting this in because it is stony ground. I'm on a stone there. Let's move that across a bit. Yeah, gritty, hard ground. So this is the mini Lanshan. There's 10 kilos. 15. There's 18 kilos and that's on the way out. So elk kit aluminium nail. There was the 18 kilos for that, mate. Reset that. Oh, 10 kilos. 20. Start some pulsing, and that's just pulling out nicely there at 27 kilos. That's on the way out. Let's just put that Y-peg in a little bit more. Good. Reset that. The Y-peg. There's 10 kilos. 15. So that's on the way out at 15 kilos. Next it's the little titanium crook. Now I'd push that in more really to stop it from spinning. I don't think this will have much holding power though. There's 10 kilos. And that's on the way out at 15 kilos. Next it's the titanium nail. Again, a bit of stoniness, not quite in properly. Good long nail though. That's better. Now I'm going to pull this at a shallow angle because it's not got much of a retention on it with the shape of the top. So there's 10 kilos. Impressed. 20 kilos. And and a few pulses 26 kilos. So amazingly, that's been the best so far. Maybe it was just a stone that was there, but felt like it was on fairly soft ground. Yeah, there we go, look, 26 kilos. So the last one is a snow stake. Not super buried, but won't go in anymore. Reset that. 10 kilos, 20 kilos, and pulsing to 30 kilos. Starting to loosen. 29.76 kilos. I'm not going to get any more of that. So, as you can imagine, pretty good testing in this sort of terrain. Pretty gritty. We'll call it a night there. Cheers. Okay, Stoney pasture. Delta peg. $10 kilos. 20 kilos. Pulsed. Pulsed up to 35 kilos. Dragging, but not coming out. Hilleberg. Wide peg, get that right down, reset, $10 kilos, and 17 kilos popped out. Oh, that hit me on the lip. Okay, this is frozen ground conditions. It's been -2 overnight, ground's solid. So I'm going to leave those a good half an hour to let any heat from the energy of hammering them in disperse, and then we'll give them a try. Right, I've started experiment 1. I took the Alp kit peg up to 10 kilograms of force and then 20 kilograms of force, and I started to get some movement, and then I started to do some pulses up to 34 kilograms of force, and it started to bend and come loose. I didn't get it out, but it was definitely bending, and more pulses like that and it would have been out. 10 kilos, 20 kilos, and let's do some hard pulses. Okay, that's pulses up to 38 kilos. We've got a little bit of a bend in it and it pulled out. Next, it's the lightweight titanium hook peg. That's reset. Okay, let's go. 10 kilos. Okay, that's a very light 15 kilos of force, and it pulled out. Didn't bend. Okay, let's reset and go straight into the titanium nail. Kilos, 20 kilos. Pulsing 30 kilos and it's loosening. Okay, that's on the way out. It's imminently going to pull out that. Tiny kink in it at 30 kilos of force. And now we're going straight into the aluminium snow anchor. Let's just reset that. It's a bit wonky, that. 10 kilos. 20 kilos. Okay, 40 kilos of force, and it's showing signs of loosening, but I don't think that will pull out, and I think that's as maximum as I'd want to go. Okay, this is the beach category. Hope you can hear me okay. It's in the middle of Stoney here on the beach on the northeast coast. It's -6 wind chill. I've just measured it. So I'm going to do them all in the sun, and I'm going to bury some of them horizontally as well. So you can see the usual suspects here. We've got all the boys. Just got to get on with it. And it's out. 3 elk kit. Better, 7.8 kilos. Hilleberg. Get that buried down a bit. Two kilos. Wide peg. With the scoop facing towards me. Titanium. Shall I even bother? Nothing. Okay. Titanium nail. 1 kilo. Lanshan Mini. Popped off at 1.5 kilos, and then finally snow stake. So I'm just going to do the elk kit has come out best there. I'm just going to do that one again. That was interesting. I think as we get down lower, it's quite deep, dense sand there. Let's just reset that, do that one again. going to bury them sideways now. We'll see what we get. Okay, this is the delta peg, buried, reset. Nothing, 2 kilos. So the elk kit. I think this will just slip off though. Okay. This is the elk kit buried. Reset. Kilos, 4.2. Right, let's try one of the small ones. This nail. I'm not burying these super deep, just about 6 inches down. Reset. 8 kilos and it's out. Well, at least the thing slipped off. Right. Next it's the Hilleberg fee peg. So I'm going to lose some of these. Kilos. Let's try the snow stake. Buried. What we need to do with this, stick it through there, that little loop. That's it down there, the trough. Okay, snow stake. Reset. Kilos, 5.2, so nothing very impressive really. Let's try getting that a good bit deeper. Make a groove. Deeper. Somebody told me that even a small wire peg can work if it's deep enough, so that's what I'm going to try. Because going 6 inches down just wasn't worth it at all. Nothing. So let's go with this DAC peg, because it's got a little notch on it, just a little notch boy there, and that that is about 25 centimetres down, a little notch on it. Okay. Reset. Decent. 12 kilos, and it's coming out. So that DAC peg with that little notch on it there, that was really good. 12 kilos. Hilleberg peg without the notch on it to the same depth. Get the groove for the... So I'm not cheating, Hilleberg fans, I've made it a little bit deeper again. So my clamp kit's jammed up now. Slip that over, put a couple of twists in it. They're nice and deep down there. You see that, guys? Girls. Okay, very nice and firm. Okay, this is the Hilleberg, very 10 inches down, compacted. The guy at a good angle, 0. Kilos, 10 kilos, 13 kilos, and that's out. So I think the little notch there on the DAC one made a difference, because I felt that wrapping and unrolling and the thing slid off the end. That DAC with that little notch made all the difference. Cheers. Sorry if I missed some out there, but you know, sun's blowing, wind's blowing, everything. Okay, great. What we have here is a nice pile of very sugary snow. I built up to about 30 centimetres deep, compacted it, and then made it 30 centimetres deep again. So we've got the usual suspects: the L kit nail, the titanium crook, the titanium nail, and the DAC V peg. Force gauge. Elk kit. .68 kilos, and it's out. Titanium crook. .62 kilos, and it's spun around. Titanium nail. .52 kilos, and that's on the way out. And then we've got the DAC V peg with the scoop towards me. That's 3.72 kilos, and that's out. Okay, next we're going to the Y peg, the Hilleberg V We've got the Delta anchor, the mini Lanshan, and the snow stake. Aluminium Y peg. .82 kilos. Hilleberg. .6 kilos, not much different. The Delta anchor. Make sure that's well in. Quite impressed. 10 kilos. Right. That was 11.84 kilos and it suddenly popped out. So the Delta anchor has not been performing great so far, but so that was a nice surprise. Now this is the Lanshan Mini X peg, so not expecting great shakes from this. 1.8 kilos, and then we've got the snow stake. Kilos. So 11.42 kilos, so pretty much the same performance as the Delta, really. So next I'm going to just get a selection. I'm going to bury a titanium nail, I'm going to bury a titanium Alp kit, and then the DACY, the snow stake, and the Delta. So this is the Alp kit buried 10 centimeters, well 15 centimeters, 5 kilos, 10 kilos, and that's popped off. So that was 10.06 kilos for the Alp kit, and you can feel what happened. It kind of slipped sideways and then started to pull out. So this is the DAC going in, and I've used this one over the Hilleberg. I think it'll perform better because it's got that little wee notch in it just to help it stop sliding a bit. Get a knot there. Wow, it's cold snow. It was snowed yesterday quite a lot, and it's been -6 overnight. It got down to centigrade, and now it is -1 degree centigrade. So it's decent snow, this. So this is the DACY. There's 5 kilos. 8 kilos, 10 kilos, right, 10.82 kilos, so pretty good, and it's just slipped down to the end there. So this is the titanium nail. Consolidate that down a little bit. Really good. Right, 8 kilos, that started to slip, sorry. That's 9.18 kilos, so I think I'd stamp that down a bit. Disappeared now. I found it. I think that illustrates a point though about this type of anchor buried in the snow. It's not very big. Maybe I'd have a longer string on it, but now I've got the snow anchor that's tied through one of the holes. Get that down nice and deep, put my line through. Compact that down. What we're thinking for this, guys, 20 kilos? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I've pretty much accepted throughout these experiments that 10 kilos is the gold standard. So there's 10. 11.6, so not much better than other things really. So with this delta peg going into the snow now, the logical way to do it is like this, and then you've got the loop kind of holding it quite nicely. But I'm sure its holding power would be better that way with the pull in that direction, but there's no real way to secure it, so I'm actually just going to put it that way, so it's like the apex is facing towards me. Okay, last one, people. That's zeroed. Attention taken. So about 4 kilos, so that was on the way out. Let's just try it the other way. See if we can get anything better. I'm kind of expecting that cord to slip off the end there. Already it is. I mean, you could probably secure it some way with more loops, but you know, when you're out in the field and it's snowing and stuff, you've got to think practically, really. Okay. Seven kilos. 10 kilos. Okay, so you can see what happened there. The cord slid. I had it that way, the cord slid on, caught on there, and then it kind of hooked. So it looks like the better way to do it would be to bury it, like just hooked around the end there. So one more try, because they've got a good following, these delta pegs, and I want to give it some respect. Where's it gone? Yeah. Where's it gone? God, I've lost it. Oh, there it is. Buried about 15 centimetres. Reset the force gauge. Just 6 kilos this time. So in summary, for each section, I found that the elk kit was best for softer middle ground. The DAC V was a modest all-rounder, but good when side buried. The Hilleberg V, which for some reason I'm keeping it close to me. I found this peg. That was okay for firm ground, not fantastic all round. The Y peg was a good all-rounder, but not outstanding. The titanium nail was a surprise to me. I would say it's the best all-rounder. The only weakness is the retention here isn't great, so a quick rap of the guy I think is appropriate. The titanium crook, only for ground shits, not worth it. A tendency to spin and bend, not worth having for the weight. The Mini X, okay for firm ground or only, otherwise just too damn small. Delta anchor, I've put a link here to further testing. Not great, to be honest. These have got a big following, and I really wanted it to work. It worked okay in snow, but was really poor in soft ground. So, sorry Delta. And then finally, the snow stake, if you could get it in, this had great retention everywhere.